Welcome guys, how's everybody doing today? It's wonderful to see all of you here. Good. Now, we are going to focus on reality, simulation, holographic universe. So you have to know what life is, what you are, and what all of this really is. This is what we're going to cover today. Some key terms or key principle names you must become aware of. So while we get everybody logging in, we can begin our message. How's everybody doing today? All right. So all of this, you heard the term a simulation, a hologram, a video game. We all heard that term. So quantum physics shows us now that that is actually true. Physicists won the Nobel Prize in around, was it 2021-22, for verifying that same thing, that reality is non-local. It means we're kind of simulated information. We're just information of particles masked as human beings. That's exactly what we are. All right. Now, how this works is you and I, our source of information is called consciousness. Consciousness is the field that generates reality. From consciousness comes particles, comes atoms, quantum physics. Quantum mechanics is the term, is the tool that consciousness uses. Okay? So from quantum physics, consciousness creates and generates quantum mechanics. So we got consciousness. All right. Before you and I came here as human beings, we were what we call the source energy. We're the total field of consciousness. Now, we beam down here and we become human beings. So we're not really humans, we are beings playing human. How do we know that? Examine your cellular structure of your body, your hard electromagnetic energy field, your cells. Everything, you break them down beyond the molecules, they become information of energy, or what they call in scientific terms, qubits of information. So we are processing information, our brain filters it in. All right, the next thing about this now, once we come here, we play characters now. This is what we call a fully immersed three-dimensional movie. So the part of reality that you and I live, we happen to live in 3 dimensions. Well, we perceive 3 dimensions, but there exist infinite dimensions. We know about 11 dimensions, and as far as science, our science can show us, which is string theory, but I suspect there are infinitely more dimensions. We just haven't gotten to that point, but we can move on to that one. All right, so our brain developed for us to see 3D, and consciousness is the energy, what you call the ether. Okay, now, since our brain developed 3-dimensional reality, we develop enhancement to our surroundings. Arms, legs, 2 eyes, ears, all designed to perceive our 3-dimensional world. Got that? Where do we live? We live in timelines. Since everything is energy, and energy cannot be created or destroyed, it must repeat itself, there also exist infinite realities of our same conscious beings here experiencing different timelines of all the events, all the desires we can imagine. In layman's terms, there is a version of you right now that's having or experiencing whatever it is you want right now, and you can tap into that version. But we'll get to that in a minute. All right, next one. Now we have characters in the game here. Here they are. You have NPC, APC, HPCs. Okay, we'll break them down. NPC non-player character. APC, write this down so you can know how this stuff works and you can use it to your advantage. Non-player characters. APC, authentic player character. HPC, helper player character. Okay? All right. NPC, a non-player character, is an individual that is streaming in the game that has no awareness beyond 3D. They are not awakened in terms. They are not aware that their environment is generated by consciousness, and all of this is a video game. Their brain is hallucinating reality. Reality is not, it's not solid. It's subjective, not objective. They are not aware of that. They see everything as physically real. Their situation is stuck. They can't change it really. They only have a certain amount of power. That's an NPC. Next one, you got an APC. That's called an authentic player character. APCs now are the ones who are more awakened, who understand that reality is malleable, that you can change your vibration and your frequency. You understand the power you hold can affect your physical world to change it. That's an APC. An HPC now, helper player character. These are they are a part of APC. HPCs are hybrids. They have the ability of APCs and they become HPC. I would be the example of an HPC for you, a helper player character. So I'm here to help you, motivate you, knowledge, wisdom, teaching, things to enhance your life. Not only me, you could have HPCs as friends, families. HPC is a character that helps you move towards your goal. They are someone that's going to be positive in your life. Those are HPC, helper player characters. They can pop up, they can stay with you on your journey, they could play a part in your journey, they could come in for one day. You be walking on the street, a guy comes up to you, gives you knowledge. Walking on the street, a guy comes up to you, gives you a whole bunch of money, leaves, and whatever. HPCs can stay with you for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 1 week, 2 weeks. They played their role and they're out. That's HPCs, all right? Now, within the game, there exists different levels of awareness in the game. An NPC is not aware that they are an NPC. APCs are aware they are APCs. HPCs are aware they're HPCs. NPCs are oblivious to the fact that they are more like robots. They fight to keep the matrix going. They are the ones that will hate on you, will report you, will talk negative about you, will defend the system that's also putting them down. They are the bots of the game. Pay attention to this one. Every single being, when they got here, they were originally NPCs. Me and you were originally NPCs from birth. What made us APCs or HPC is that we were chosen by our higher self to awaken. That's right. Some NPCs are playing the game just to be NPCs. Their higher self chose them to experience being NPCs. So some of them will never wake up. Some of them will wake up. Remember, guys, it's a game. All realities exist. So in this particular reality, an NPC just wants to be an NPC. In another reality, that very NPC was an HPC or an APC. But in this particular reality that you and I live, and if you meet NPCs, they are not aware unless their higher self chooses to awaken. Okay, the higher self. What is the higher self? The higher self is the hub, is consciousness itself. And what it does, it breaks off into an energetic part of you. So it is your true soul outside of the game that is guiding and directing you. So it knows the full layout of how the game operates, how the game is going to end, where you're going to get your success, exactly what you want. It's going to be relaying information to you so that you can go and experience whatever it is you want. So far, so good. Now, the difference between success and failure in the matrix comes down to awareness. Those who are aware that this is a game, that they are information, that they can stream and they can change, they are the ones that will get the success, what they would call success. Those who are not aware, they will get the failure. That's basically how it works. Now, the inner workings of manifesting, the inner workings of bringing it in. One's an APC, an authentic player character, and an HPC, a helper player character. Once they already know this information, so what they do, they implement it. They use the tools that they came here with: subconscious mind, imagination, emotions. They know how to stream it. They know how to maneuver it and manipulate it to get what they want. Hence, why do you get what you want? Why do you get the things you manifest? Because the things you are manifesting are already manifested. They are already created. They're in the same space. Now remember, we talked in the beginning, I said to you that there's 3 dimensions that we exist. Now, I said we live in timelines. Here's the thing you gotta know. Every timeline is in the same space. So there's one space. Within space, you have different portals. They call that dimension. In these different dimensions, there's different levels of awareness. So we're in 3D. Our brains are tuned for 3D. 4-dimension beings are tuned for 4 dimensions. Well, you could say we have 4 dimensions because we use time as a dimension. Okay, but you got 4 dimensions, 5 dimensions, 6 dimensions, 7 dimensions, 8 dimensions, 9, 10, 11. All right. So technically in those dimensions, because everything must repeat, there are also other beings, maybe like you and me, maybe higher, different forms, that they exist in those dimensions. They now, however, they can look into our dimension. So a 4-dimensional being, intelligence, they can look into 3D. Just like we are 3-dimensional beings, we can look into 2D. So if there was a 2-dimensional world out there where space is, we can pierce into 2-dimensional beings. Like a flat, they only go left, up, straight, and backwards. So far, so good. Okay, what's the key about these dimensions? Just take out the beings out of these dimensions. What exists in these dimensions? So in these dimensions, you have the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th. But guess what? You know how many 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dimensions you have? Infinite. You know how many 3D dimensions you have? Infinite. We're in 3D. So think about your goals and dreams. There's another dimension right next to you in 3D, just like this one that you're experiencing it. So everything is in the same space, but they're just in different dimensions. Copy that? So you want to get the 3D version of yourself because that's where you live. You can't get 5 dimensions, 6 dimensions because your brain isn't tuned to that dimension. You're not built to live in that world. So, okay? So we're built to experience 3 dimensions. Yes, different timeline. So the game is, how do I get into the version of me in another 3 dimension or another world, another earth, another planet, another city, just like this, that I'm experiencing what I want to experience? Your subconscious mind is the only vehicle that can go into infinite 3 dimensions, 4 dimensions, 5 dimensions, 6 dimensions. Got that? So you have to learn to master your subconscious mind to get into those dimensions. NPCs aren't aware of that. Okay, all right. Now, effectiveness to use to get to those dimensions. Repetition, visual images, spoken questions. State of beings. A state of being is what you call how you walk, talk, feel daily. In other words, do you feel and walk cocky like you're a winner? Like the universe got it for you, like you already have it? Do you feel like the universe owes you something? Do you walk around even if you only got $5 in your bank account? Like would you walk around like you're expecting $1 million, like you have the money already in your bank account? That's called state of being. When you radiate that frequency, or when you radiate that energy, what you're doing along with a question such as, why am I so rich and successful? Why do I have multiple streams of income? Those are questions. When you apply those two together, state of being and questions, and then you add the visual aspect to it, you put a triple factor to it, what you do now, you enhance your subconscious mind to go bring that reality to you in this reality. Because the subconscious mind can only prove to you what you question. Got that? The difference, the number one difference between APC, HPC, and NPC. Here it is. APCs, HPCs, they don't use their conscious mind a lot. NPCs use their conscious mind all the time. An APC and an HPC recognize that their conscious mind does not create reality. It only observes reality. Got that? They realize that reality is generated through their subconscious mind. An NPC believes that their conscious mind creates reality. NPCs literally will work harder, will try harder, and they will get little to no results. They will feel more stuck. They will feel more limited. They will think the world around them is built on connections, on the card you're being dealt. APCs and HPCs don't see it that way. They see the world as malleable and can change. So what separates them really is the APC, authentic player characters, HPC, helper player characters, they use their conscious mind for mainly one thing. They use their conscious mind to perceive what they want, to visualize what they want. And they ignore it for everything else. So when their ego comes in and tries to doubt them, tell them it's not going to work, tell them it's not good, they are aware of it, but they don't let it absorb into them. They observe it, but they don't absorb it. They know the ego can't do anything, it can't create, so they predominantly ignore it. NPCs, however, they can't do that. They literally listen to their mind and they succumb to it, and they believe whatever their mind tells them, that you can't do it, you're not good enough, and then they get stuck into that realm. That's the biggest difference between awakened ones and non-awakened people. Awakened individuals recognize that the ego is a tool that it only perceives. It doesn't generate any reality creation. NPCs don't recognize that. So if you want to know the biggest difference between awakened and enlightened and being in an NPC, now you know. Okay, the ego part of the game. So the ego, just like we came here, the way the game is set up, so consciousness puts this system in there. It's called a self-correcting code. We know that self-correcting code as evolution. So a system will repeat itself. When it makes a mistake, it'll get smarter, correct the mistake, so it'll continue to evolve until it reaches what is called optimal perfection. That's a self-correcting code. If you know, okay, human beings evolved. Eyes, ears for the environment, brain, stuff. We keep evolving. Immune system, recognizes the illness, remembers it. So when the next time you get a cold, you don't get a cold because it remembers the virus, the bacteria. It just keeps evolving. That's called evolution in our terms. But that's really a self-correcting code that your consciousness set into the whole game. So, since everything is a self-correcting code and is designed to become better at adapting, your ego did that. So what your ego did, when your ego, part of the game, it recognized its environment, it became smarter. That's why your ego is called the smart mind, the intellect mind. It can reason, it can rationalize. So it continued to evolve, and it evolved to the point where it got too good for itself. So it believes and thinks it knows best, it knows more than you, and a lot of people fall for that. That's the ego. That's how everything works. They call it evolution. It's called self-correcting code. So you and I, we are always self-correcting, evolving. So the more you're into your true power, the higher you evolve to what they call your natural state of perfection. They call it, you got low entropy, high entropy. The lower your entropy is, the faster you manifest. The higher your entropy is, the less you manifest. What is entropy in the system? Entropy is how the system starts. The system starts from order to disorder, and then it recycles again. That's how everything works. So everything will start up orderly, then it goes to disorder, it crumbles back up, restarts over again, and you and I know that as incarnation or reincarnation. We are born, we live, we die. We start off with the low entropy, and then we move to high entropy, and then the system reorganizes itself again and run a different play and run a different reality, or run the same play, but when you come here, you just give yourself amnesia to forget about it. Got it? So that is the whole game of manifesting, reality, ego, realities. So you got it now. Now you know, use it and don't lose it.